So without further ado, I will call upon our first presenter, Mrs. Teresa Stanley Lourdes Benedict from SMK Bandar Tun Hussein on Tucheras. Please welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can.
Okay, I'm just sharing screen. Just hold on. Can you see anything on the screen? Sorry.
Yes, can.
Okay, thank you. Okay, without further ado, thank you, Encik Azhar, our chairperson for today. I will start my presentation for today's topic. Okay, so I'm going to present on integrating media information literacy through critical thinking in chemistry. That is my topic, which I'm going to speak about. Okay, the objective of this project, okay, is actually a project that I've conducted with my students. Okay, number one is students are able to create a Google site through project-based learning. So this is mainly on a project-based learning activity for my students that involve around 24 students in Form 4. That means their age is 16 years old. Okay, and then students should be able to research about a single topic in chemistry KSSM and relate to the world around them presented in a YouTube in Google site. That means the main objective is for them to pick their own topic in chemistry, relate it with the world around them. That means how is it related to their everyday life, and then they are supposed to make a video, and then they are supposed to put everything in a website, which is Google site. So they are supposed to build a website on their own. And furthermore, they are supposed to work together in building the site also. Okay, so how did I start with the project was I did a questionnaire. I collected data. So the questionnaire consists of multiple choice and short questions. I used Google Form, and then the sample was mainly students that was taking chemistry. According to the statistic, that means this is the statistic from the survey that I conducted, where one of the question is, how long do you spend on social media daily? So their response was the maximum 59% of responded 2 to 5 hours. That is in a day. So in a day, average, the students spend about 2 to 5 hours in social media. That was one of the questions. And then the next statistic is related to the next question. Which social media do you have? Okay, so this was their responses. So mainly their social media consists of Instagram. I'm taking the highest statistic here. So the highest statistic here is Instagram, WhatsApp, and also YouTube. That means average, we can say each student have social media. Now, this is according to Malaysian statistic MMC. 47% of children aged 5 to 17 years old use internet in their daily life. So this is the statistic from Malaysia, okay, which is around 47% of children. And then the next statistic is how many percent of parents are aware of parental control? That means how can do parents know how to control and how to restrict internet to their children? Only 53.3% of parents are aware of how to control and how to restrict internet among their children. And the next statistic is 98.1% they communicate on text messages, which is WhatsApp, Instagram, that means on text. So 98.1. So these are the top 5 online activities in Malaysia. All right. So as we can see, the highest number here is on text communication. Now, why did I pick this topic is, at this time of age, with the advent of digital technology, awareness of media is acquiring crucial importance, which is media literacy. Information literacy and digital literacy. So I picked these 3 most important aspects in prevailing concepts that focus on critical approach through media message. That means more or less critical thinking is the most essence for students these days as they use digital literacy a lot in their daily life. Now, this is from my source. Okay, this is what is stated from my source, which I've written. This is from the Media and Literacy Information, Media and Culture Society. This is what is stated. So students need to acquire these 5 important skills these days, which is they should be able to analyze, they should be able to communicate, they should have an open-mindedness, and also they should be able to have some creativity and problem solving. So how did I conduct? What is my methodology was, the first, I brainstorm the students. I gave them, during my chemistry lesson, I gave them one word that relates to chemistry. And then after that, I use the answer given as a definition in chemistry. And then I asked the students to list names of chemical present in food advertised. So this is relating chemistry to media information literacy, meaning that I didn't take media information literacy as a whole topic, but I integrated it in my lesson. So I asked them, what is your opinion on the advertisement? So I showed them an advertisement and asked them to think about what is their opinion and what does social media influencer play in advertisement. And then further on, to develop, the students supposed to develop a chemistry field and contribution of chemical technology towards mankind. So they need to relate the contribution of chemical technology. That means in chemistry, how does chemistry help in the good of mankind? So after that, they are taught the correct method of filter to search for articles related to chemicals in technology using Google Scholar. So that means how they use technology to gain information I related in the topic of chemistry itself. Then at the end, they are supposed to choose a topic related to chemistry in our daily life to make a video and upload it in YouTube. So this process requires them to collaborate with each other to build up a website. Now, this is the advertisement that I gave my student to think. What is your opinion? That means based on the picture, what is the opinion about the advertisement? Does the advertisement have a role? What role does a social media influencer play in advertisement? So this question actually involves them to think critically. So how is this advertisement and how does this advertisement influence a child or influence them as a whole? Or how does pictures, these graphic pictures, how do graphic pictures influence the social media user? So they need to think about the graphic given. And at the end, this is what they came up with. This is their project.
Explosion that can be caused by a group 1 metal. 2 rainbow shells or rainbow had about 1 to 2 fusion and hydrogen bombs. Here is a small. Hi, my name is Gloria Santiago. So what is helium? Helium is the second lightest element and it's also the second. And that when we suck the helium out of our food, our voices turns out to be like a chipmunk. But there's actually and semiconductor chips for our phone. Helium grows too. So are we actually running out of helium? Based on this article, it is. I'm sure I'm writing down software intentionally. Artists. This article shows good impact. It says that the global helium for the past 2 years has ended. But what if
So, Mr. Risa, I think we have to go to a Q&A session.
So this is basically the short video I'm sharing about their website that they did. Okay, furthermore, let me continue. Now, this is according to the Curriculum for Excellence. Children and young people not only need to be able to read for information, they also need to be able to work out what trust they should place on the information and to identify when and how people are aiming to persuade or influence them. This is what UNESCO said, right? This is a few quotes that I've taken. So benefits of media information literacy to students is, according to the Center for Media Literacy, CML, so number one, it can increase the ability and proficiency of students. Number two, give students and teachers a common approach in critical thinking, and of course, provide an opportunity to integrate in all subjects. Okay, further on, let me continue. Now, these are the top. Yes,
Thanks,
Encik Azhar.
Miss. Your time is already finished. I think we better go to conclusion.
All right, thank you, Encik Azhar. So I would like to just conclude. So in whole, what did I get from this project is, okay, from this project, I can see that students are able to come up with a Google site, that means a website, and they are able to collaborate. And if they are given an open topic and given to think about a certain topic, they are able to come up. That means we as teachers shouldn't give restriction in how students should present their information or present their topic. All right. So lastly, I would like to conclude, technology will never replace great teachers, but in the hands of great teachers is transformational. With then, I rest my case. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Teresa Stanley. Any question from the floor? So again, thank you, Mrs. Teresa Stanley Lourdes Benedict. So I think there is no question from the floor. So now let's call upon our second presenter, Mrs. Roslida binti Hashim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. I'm Siti Sofia binti Othman, and with my friend Porosida Hashim, we are from SMK Bukit Tunggal. Okay, so for today we are going to be presenting on our project on the classroom teaching practice entitled Encouraging Student Participation in Classroom Assessment by incorporating the STEM into geography using the 5E model. KSSM Geography aim to produce geographically informed students who can interact with the environments towards sustainability and well-being. Therefore, production of creative and innovative work must be exemplified positively towards the environment. It is the main element that need to be applied to students. Okay, next we're going to look at what is the problem that make us choose to do this project. Okay, first we can see that students are unmotivated to produce any creative project they can do in order to improve their PBD achievement. Second, students are only able to achieve TP3 and TP4 in their classroom assessment. Lastly, students do not have a clear guideline on how to complete their problem-based learning project. We have two main objectives that we want to achieve from this project. First is we want to improve the teaching practice from teacher-based learning to student-based learning. And second, we want to improve student achievement by integrating the STEM approach in the learning process. The focus group of this project is 28 students from Tri Al Amin from SMK Bukit Tunggal. Okay, so our early observation, only one student managed to achieve band 5, 19 students achieve band 4, and we have 8 students in band 3. Okay, so the methodology that we choose for this project is the 5E models. Okay, so what is 5E model and why we choose 5E model? Okay, 5E model of instruction is based on the constructivism learning approach. This model stated that students would construct new ideas based on their prior knowledge. And also, this model will help students to enhance their higher thinking order in the learning process. Okay, 5E model will encourage students to involve more than just reading and listening. Students will participate actively in the learning process. Okay, so there are 5 steps in this 5E model. Okay, student will involve in engagement, exploration, explanation, elaboration, and also evaluation. So student will learn to ask questions, to observe, to model, to analyze, to explain, and even draw conclusion. Also, they need to talk about their own understanding, especially during the explanation and also elaboration. In this task, teacher wants students to be able to elaborate the economic activities in their local community. So for this project, okay, in the engagement phase, okay, teacher will start the lesson by showing the student a video about occupation, okay, and then teacher will try to relate the video with the economic activities. So here, teacher will be the presenter, okay, will try to present the situation and also help students to engage the information with the topic and also with the local situation. Teacher will help students to identify what is the problem that they need to find out from this topic. Okay, teacher also will set the rules and give them instruction on how the project will be conducted. The next phase, which is exploration. Okay, here teacher will divide the student into groups. Okay, the group are divided according to their locality. Okay, so that they can have the same background. Okay, and then in this discussion, student will try to find information from the internet, interview their family members, and also try to find the information from their textbook. Okay, based on all the information that they gather, they need to sort all the information into a presentable form like a chart or maybe a graph, okay, that they will use in the next phase. Okay, and then we move on to explanation. Okay, in this phase, okay, student will present all the information. Okay, one of the representative will come forward and will present the result of their discussion and research. Okay, so this activity will be conducted through Google Meet. Okay, and then teachers and other students can ask them question. Okay, after that, we will move to the elaboration phase. Okay, in this elaboration phase, the activity will be conducted individually. Okay, student will use all the information that they have from the previous phase to produce a creative work. Okay, in this task, we ask students to come up with a video, with a creative video, where they need to present their answer on which economic activities that they think have a potential to be further developed. As for the evaluation, okay, in 5E model, we are taught to assess students in every phase. Formative evaluation were conducted throughout this project. For example, formative assessment. Okay, teacher give student feedback after their presentation. We ask for the in the gap, okay, between the student knowledge and also what we are trying to achieve in this lesson. At the end of this project, we conduct a summative evaluation. Okay, summative evaluation is very important because it will be the evidence of student knowledge and also their proficiency for the topic. based on this project, okay, we can see 5E model of instruction actually help to apply the C skill, okay, to student when they conduct the project. Okay, we can see that this 5E model helps student to build their critical thinking. We help them to, we teach them how to collaborate with their friends, and then creativity, also communication skill, and also of course the character development. Okay, we try to give them a sense of leadership, okay, and also citizenship. We want them to appreciate their locality, and we want this student to have a sense of responsibility that one day they will try to contribute back to the society. Throughout this project, we can see that it has a very positive impact. Previously, there are no students that achieve band 6, but after we conduct this project, we have 16 students who achieve band 6, and then we have 10 students who are in band 5, and 2 students in band 4. Previously we have band 3, but now there is no more band 3. After using this 5E model, you also can see student improvement in their confidence level. Okay, one of the evidence is that this student able to join a video competition for Hari Konservasi Ekosistem Peringkat Kebangsaan tahun for 2021. Okay, using the same model of instruction, this 5E model, okay, they able to produce a video for competition. So we can see that it give a very positive impact to the student achievement. We also receive a positive feedback from student. Okay, so throughout conducting this project, and after we conduct the project and we see the result, we think that we will continue to use this 5E model in the next lesson. Okay, so I think that we can achieve a better result by using this 5E model. So thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum.
Any question from the floor? You can raise your hand by clicking the button. You want to ask any question? Any question? No question. No question from the floor. So there is no question. Thank you very much, Mrs. Ruslida Hashim from SMK Bukit Tunggal.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so now let's call upon our next presenter, Mrs. Nur Haslina binti Damanhuri from SMK Convent. Mrs. Nur Haslina, we cannot hear your voice. Mrs. Nur Haslina, we cannot hear you. Mrs. Norhaslin, can you unmute your mic, your microphone?
Hello, hello. Okay, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry for the. Okay, wait.
Okay.
Okay, so I share my presentation. I share already my presentation, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Assalamualaikum and very good morning to everyone. Okay, I am Nur Haslina binti Damanhuri from SMK Convent. So today I just want to share how I implemented the STEM project-based learning in my with my students. Okay. So for this topic, STEM project-based learning, learning by doing during pandemic in teaching and learning of cosmetic. This is the new topic in our syllabus for Form 5 Chemistry. Okay, this is about introduction, methodology and our result from this project. Okay, this is a little bit introduction, why we use STEM in our country. Okay, first about economic and employment advancement. Okay, this one is proposed by National Research Council 2011. That's why we must use the STEM nowadays. And then for the labor and innovation, according to the Muhammad Sahali and Friends 2017. Okay, why we need the STEM include in our lesson and our education. Okay, STEM also used in the various subjects such as mathematics based on Hand and Friends 2016, Curtin and Gurel 2016, and also we use STEM in the science subject, especially from the AGA 2012 and Cotterbeach and Friends 2013. Okay, and then we have used the STEM, in a various STEM pedagogy. Nowadays, we have STEM project based, proposed by Copraro and Jones 2013, Copraro and the Friends 2013. Okay, Sing Chang Lo 2013. Okay, we also use STEM pedagogies such as STEM project based learning from the ASGA 2012 and then from the STIZA Ready 2014. After that, we also use STEM inquiry-based learning, proposed by Govard 2013. That means this show why the STEM is important nowadays, Next, we go to the background, What is the background from this STEM? Chemistry is an important subject in SPM, and then it includes also the scientific skill. This is mentioned by Malaysian of Education 2012. Okay, and then the next one is it produces the skilled and innovative student creating using STEM element to solve real world problem. Okay, so this one is proposed by Kennedy and Odell 2014. And then from this STEM, we use the generation of collaborative, creative and analytical mind for the student. So this one is proposed by Bureau and Slater 2015. Okay, from the STEM, STEM has stated the more positive impact, especially from the perception, and then we have the interest, positive impact, academic achievement, and then 21st century skill and create and innovate from the Kennedy and Odell 2014. That's mean from the STEM lesson, they have a lot of positive impact, from the research. Then, what is the problem statement for chemistry? We have known that chemistry is difficult to master, and then a lot of most complicated topic, based on the Lee and Osman research. After that, chemistry also have a lot of misconception, and lastly, they are not good inappropriate teaching strategy employed by the teacher in the classroom. So this is the problem of this topic, and then in this syllabus of chemistry. Okay, so for the purpose of this study, I want to use the STEM project-based learning approach, okay, during this pandemic on students' understanding. So I want to know how about the STEM project-based learning approach, okay, during this pandemic can achieve any student understanding. So the student can develop their understanding or not, okay, during this pandemic. This is my purpose of the study. For the research objective, I have two research objectives, qualitative and quantitative. For the quantitative, I want to measure the effectiveness of STEM project-based learning approach on students' understanding in cosmetic concept. And then for the qualitative, I want to understand how far the students are mastering cosmetic concept, okay, with the using of the STEM project-based learning approach. Okay. For the methodology, I use the mixed method design. That means I use the embedded design. What is the embedded design? Okay, embedded design here, I use the concurrent embedded design, which quantitative and qualitative data I collected at the same time. You can see here, I have two tests. That means for the pre-test here, okay, I use the quantitative data I collected at the same time. I use the qualitative data collected at the pre-test. This is because the qualitative data collected is used to support the quantitative data. After the intervention of the STEM project-based learning, okay, I give them also the post-test. So for the post-test also, the quantitative data and the qualitative data, okay, is collected at the same time. Okay, so the qualitative data also is to support the quantitative data. So we use the concurrent embedded design. Okay, this sample, this is my sample. Okay, only one school, and then I have 50 students. Okay, they are Form 5 student, grade 11. And then, okay, there is only one group, and then it is intake group, and then the teacher's experience of teaching more than 10 years. Okay, this is my result. I use the quantitative analysis. Okay, I use the MANOVA. Okay, one-way multivariate analysis of variance MANOVA is revealed to okay in this activity, okay, STEM based learning, okay, to check the improve of student on their understanding. So from the result, the Width lambda is 0.142, the n square equal to 0.38, and then the f equal to 2.308, and alpha is less than 0.05. From this one, we can conclude that statistically significant difference in understanding of cosmetic concept. So that means this is significant. Okay, from the qualitative data analysis, okay, students shows their understanding of the cosmetic concept increase after they use the STEM project-based learning approach. This is because they are doing by their self, okay, during this pandemic. So they can create, okay, the idea, and then they can create the product, and then I just ask how they can commercialize their product. So they have the idea after they got the product. And then the student enjoy the learning process using the STEM project-based learning. And then they also can perform the experiment using the STEM project-based learning approach. Okay, so in addition, I can check their scientific skill when they are using the they are doing the experiment. So I can check the skill of experiment, how they identify what is the product, okay, how many mass of each substance, okay, so that's all. Lastly, they also were more confident in learning chemistry concept, which is usually is a problem for them. Okay, so for the conclusion, okay, STEM project-based learning is a good teaching approach during the pandemic in chemistry subject, especially in cosmetic concept. And then the teachers can also use this approach of pedagogy in other subjects. Lastly, it is recommended that STEM project-based learning approach is good to implement in chemistry lesson in the secondary school, especially during this pandemic. So from this one, I use the 6 element from MORE 2016. Okay, so for this activity, student can include the motivation and engaging environment for the learning to be personally meaningful. Okay, based on the more proposed 2016. And then from this experiment, student can include exploration of technology in engineering thinking and designing using the fundamental knowledge of science and mathematics, okay, as a problem solving strategy. Okay, the third one, student also participating in engineering thinking through learning from failure to redesign based on what they have learned. If they cannot get the product of masker, okay, I propose them to do a masker, okay, facial mask for the project. So if they have failed the project, so they must redesign, okay, again, how to get the good masker for the product. And then for the fourth one, okay, it infused a standard science and mathematics curriculum. And then the next one, they be taught in the student-centered manner. So because they're doing by themselves, okay, learning by doing, so they can have a good understanding. And lastly, it promotes the collaborative and communicative skill. Okay, so all of the evidence I just put in my Padlet. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Naslina. Any question from the floor? Any question? So there is no question. So we proceed on our next presenter, Mrs. Chow Sidley from SMK Convent Typing.
Good morning to the host, Mrs. Norma Izanti, the chairperson, Mr. Asha, and all the audience. My name is Chow Sidley. I am a physics teacher from SMK Convent Typing, Perak, Malaysia. I am here today to share with you my innovation with the title, A Robotics Application in the Teaching and Learning of Freeform Motion. I will talk about the problem and innovation, methodology, results, and conclusion from this innovation. When I was first exposed to the new physics syllabus last year about freeform motion, there is a new instrument called photogate system. It's used to conduct the experiment to determine the Earth's gravitational acceleration. It was a shock that this photogate system cost 1,580 ringgit. I could not afford it. Thus, it sparked the idea of this innovation with my students. What did we do? We replaced photogate system with microbit. Microbit is an open source hardware that contains an accelerometer which can be used to measure acceleration. Why microbit? Simply because I am the teacher in charge of robotics competition in school. In our robotics competition, we use microbit to do coding and give instruction to the robot. The purpose of this innovation is to determine the Earth's gravitational acceleration using microbit. I did it with 3 Form 5 students from 6th to 13th April 2021 in my school. For the materials, setup, and method, I will explain in next slide. For materials, they are divided into 2 parts. One for the transmitter, another one for the receiver. transmitter will transmit data to the receiver via live data logging. For transmitter, firstly, we will need 1.5 liter of water bottle filled with water. Secondly, we will need a microbit board that acts as a transmitter. This microbit board will be connected to a AAA battery holder that contains of 2 AAA batteries. After that, we will need a 1/3 plastic bottle. I only took the bottom parts of a water bottle, some bubble wrap and cellophane tape. For receiver, we will need one more microbit board that acts as a receiver. I took the robot from the robotics team. Now, this microbit board is connected to the laptop and MakeCode coding is downloaded to the receiver. Not only that, MakeCode coding must also be downloaded to the transmitter before the experiment. Let us see how coding is done for both transmitter and receiver using Microsoft MakeCode. For setup and method, firstly, we will do the coding using Microsoft MakeCode to both transmitter and receiver. The codings are short and simple. After that, we will download the coding to the microbit transmitter and wrap the transmitter with bubble wrap. Then only we attach it to the water bottle and cover with the 1/3 plastic bottle to protect the transmitter. Secondly, we will connect the microbit receiver to the laptop and download the coding. Next, drop the water bottle attached with transmitter from a low position. The receiver is connected to the laptop so that it can receive data from the transmitter. After that, drop the same water bottle from a high position. All the data obtained via live data logging is analyzed using Microsoft Excel. Let us see 2 videos on how the procedures are done, including the data analysis. Now, let us see what are the results obtained. The data obtained after live data logging is quite long. I only screenshot part of it. Firstly, the water bottle is released from a low position, and the average value of gravitational acceleration calculated is 9.70825 meters per second squared. After that, the water bottle is released from a high position. After calculation, the average value of gravitational acceleration is 9.67151 meters per second squared. These 2 values are totaled up and divided by 2 so that it can get an average acceleration. And the result is G. Gravitational acceleration is 9.68988 meters per second squared. If round off, it will become 9.69 meters per second squared. So I would like to explain why are the results in negative sign. Okay, this negative sign only indicate direction. In the physics form 4 textbook, it is assumed that Whenever there is an object released downwards, motion is in negative direction. So that negative sign only indicate direction. In conclusion, the average value of gravitational acceleration g obtained in this experiment is 9.69 meter per second squared. This value is close to the actual value of g, which is 9.81 meter per second squared. It is also close to the standard value of g at the equator, which is 9.78 meter per second squared. Besides being able to determine the average value of gravitational acceleration, most importantly, this innovation is low cost. It is only 155 ringgit and 18 cents compared to buying a photocase system which will cost 1,580 ringgit. Let us take a look at this list. The main component used in this experiment is the microbit board. It is only 72 ringgit per unit. The other materials are quite cheap. Some other materials are recycled. In addition, the coding used in this experiment is Microsoft MakeCode. It is a very simple coding and it is suitable to introduce to students in primary school or secondary school. The exposure of Microsoft MakeCode coding allows the student to participate more in the digital world. As a robotics teacher in school, I always want to bring in coding and robotics into the classroom so that more students are exposed to it. However, there are some precaution steps to be taken to increase the accuracy in this experiment. Firstly, add more layers of protection to the microbit board, which acts as a transmitter that is attached on the bottle. This can avoid the microbit board from damage due to any impulsive force when it falls on the ground. Secondly, add fins to ensure the bottle falls vertically downward in the whole process so that can obtain a more accurate result. That is all for my sharing. Thank you so much. Please feel free to ask questions if there is any. Good morning to the host, Mrs. Norma Izanti.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Chow Sili.
Thank you.
Any question from the floor? If you have any question, you can raise your hand by clicking the button to ask any question to the presenter. Any question?
Hello. Morning.
Okay.
Okay.
Salvia?
Okay. Thank you. What is the big challenges for you? Actually.
Good morning. The big challenges from me in this innovation, do you mean in this innovation, madam?
Yes. How do you implement? I think I mean how to in terms of implementation in school, in your school.
I think the biggest problem now will be the pandemic, where students cannot be too close to each other. We have to make sure that there is a physical distancing. So because in my school, I have only 2 sets of robotics. So in that case, right, I have only 2 pieces of the microbit board. Thus, I have to let 3 students to do at one time, another 3 students to do another time. So it is quite time consuming where students cannot gather together at one place to see the whole process. So I have to do it in separate groups. That is the biggest challenge.
Okay, thank you. All the best, Cikgu.
Thank you as well.
Okay, thank you very much for the question and the answer from Mrs. Chow. So now let's call upon our next presenter, Mr. Muhammad Muzamil Firdaus bin Abu Bakar from Pusat Asas Sistem University Malaysia Terengganu. Please welcome.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Azhar. Okay, so let me share my slide first. Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning, all presenter and attendee. So my name is Muhammad Muzamil bin Abu Bakar. So I'm from Pusat Asas Sistem, UMT. Okay, now I want to share, this is my final year degree project, okay, SU8 microbiosensor based on Mach-Zehnder interferometer, which I want to relate with STEM education, right? Okay, so this is my content, okay, for my presentation. Okay, and then first of all, I want to give acknowledgement to my previous supervisor, Dr. Mak Nafia. Okay, and then the owner of the photonic lab research at ICTEM at that time, I think circa 2006, Prof. Muhammad Kamil. And then I also use a lab at USM under Prof. Haslan. And I also use the SAM, scanning electron microscope. Okay, that lab under supervision Dr. Haji Kamal Azizi, and also I assist by Dr. Sim Yu Kyong. Okay. Okay, so first of all, there are several biosensor. Okay, the latest in our market now, the RTK set lah. Okay, to sense the COVID-19. But at that time, okay, I just give two sample. Okay, the SPR, which is a surface plasma resonance biosensor, and the MZI means the Mach-Zehnder interferometer biosensor, which I focus at this design. Okay, so these two sensor use a photonic or laser, okay, to sense the specimen, right? Okay, so basically, this is the complete, okay, the complete set of biosensor, Mach-Zehnder. So this is a system proposed by E.R. Bastos, 2018, okay, and that is the second system proposed by M.S. Morib, also 2018. So both system, okay, they are trying to sense the biological specimen. So my focus is at this part, okay, that the sensor part, not the system, the sensor part, okay. So now we focus at that part, okay. All right, so before that, what is Mach-Zehnder interferometer? Okay, so Mach-Zehnder interferometer is a method to split a single beam light. So actually we have a single straight beam light, and then if we have two prism, okay, and then we arrange that prism with this position, we can split that light into two. So now we have two light beam, and then we can combine, okay, that signal again into one single light beam, so we can detect the interference. So if both light doesn't travel or propagate any different medium with a different refractive index, so the both light should have the same speed. So when both light interfere, okay, and then we can get the maximum the constructive interference lah, alright. But if we disturb one of the paths of that light beam, let's say, look at second diagram, if we put a biological specimen, okay, at one of the light paths, so now that light which is travel through the specimen, the speed is slower than its partner. So what happened? So when this light meet at this beam combiner, so we can get the different, okay, the pattern, because they travel with different paths, okay. And then the third diagram, this is the schematic diagram, okay, of the Mach-Zehnder interferometer biosensor using waveguide, okay. And then basically from my research at that time, and then I also try to find if there any new design. So basically, that biosensor still based on the common or typical design, which is consists of two type of waveguide. Okay, the first is the straight line. Okay, the straight line. The straight line we put at the sensing arm and the reference arm, and also for the input and output. Okay, and then the second shape is the Y shape. So that Y shapes is to, for if the Y shape we put at the input, so the Y shape can be a splitter. If the Y shape we put at the output side, so the Y shape can be a combiner. Okay, it can combine these two light. Okay, so this is the clear bigger picture for basic schematic diagram of Mach-Zehnder interference biosensor. Okay, as I mentioned before, we have a Y splitter, okay, and another Y splitter. But if this is for output, so we can say that Y combiner lah. And then we have two straight arm for upper and lower arm for reference and for the specimen. Okay, so from a previous study, okay, so we focus on optical biosensor at that time because that biosensor, okay, is easy to use and fast, portable, okay, and then multiplex and high specificity and high sensitivity and cost-effective diagnosis because they're very high sensitive, okay. And then, however, okay, also from the previous research or the previous report, all that biosensor yang such as the SPR, as I mentioned before, we need a large sample. Also that the MZI, the previous also need a large sample. So we try to propose and to design the smaller biosensor so that we need just a little bit of biosensor or biosample or specimen. Okay, all right. Okay, so the objective, okay, for that study, the first is to design a micro biosensor device using a film wave software. And then the second one, to fabricate that biosensor, okay, using a SU8 polymer material. Okay, so the method I will discuss, okay, because we have a method of a sample preparation, and then after that design the biosensor, and then the fabrication. All right. So this is the fabrication, the whole process. Okay, start from the scratch until we get the end product lah, the device itself. But at that time, okay, during my project, so I cannot make it that device in reality because the problem at that time, we cannot produce at micro scale device at that time. But maybe for today we can produce that, all right? Because the new technology. Okay, so the process is first, okay, we put the polymer, okay, into the glass substrate, okay, and then we disperse that polymer, okay, with a spin coater, so around 2000 RPM. So that polymer in liquid form, so it will get dispersed homogeneously, okay, to the glass substrate. And then I soft bake that polymer to make it harden. And then I expose that polymer to the UV light, okay. And then I rebake again, okay. And then develop. So that develop process, which is we put the design, okay. We try to draw, okay, what we have designed, okay, to that polymer, okay. And then after that, we rinse and dry, okay, that glass because we want to remove the unneeded polymer. We just to remain the device, okay. And then we hard bake to make it harden again, and then last so we can get that device lah. Right. Okay, this is the material I mentioned before. Okay, this is the equipment that I used during that time. So I use prism coupler model SPA 4000, okay, to measure the thickness of of my device, and then the UV light source, okay, and then the hot plate, okay, for the soft bake process, and then spin coater, okay, to disperse the polymer, okay, homogeneously into the glass. So to design and simulate, okay, so at that time we use FilmWave software. Okay, at that time this software is very expensive. Okay, so only at that time, okay, even though this software can run on standard PC, yes, but to design and simulate that device, okay, at that time, so the laptop or PC needs I think 8 gigabit RAM, 2006. So the laptop at that time very expensive. Okay, so I use a PC at my faculties. Okay, so this is the design. Okay, so look at, so the design is different with the typical design. So my design didn't have the Y splitter, only the straight or the straight line. Okay, the straight arm. Okay, but the arrangement is different. Okay, so this is the complete device. Okay, so that the sample will be put at this part. Okay, so this is the cross-sectional area for the single, double, and triple waveguide. So that single, double, and triple waveguide at this. So at this is a triple because we have 1, 2, 3. This is double waveguide, 1, 2, and this is the single. So the size of each arm is different, okay? Because we also calculate the suitable, okay, the optimum design or dimension for that waveguide where we can only put a single mode signal, okay? Then this is the parameter, okay? So the total length for my device at that time is 50 micron. From the input until output, 50 micron, okay? So means that from this point until this point is 50 micron, okay? And then the reference, okay, the sensing arm, okay, 300 micrometer, okay, the double waveguide, okay, 105, the triple waveguide, 75, and then, oh, so sorry, the total device parameter is 971, sorry, okay, only the input and output 50, the reference sensing 300, because longer, and then the double waveguide, shorter than sensing arm, okay, but longer than triple waveguide. So the total my device is 971, okay, micrometer. Okay, so this is the simulation. At that time, I only use 2 sample, not the actual sample because I just simulate. Okay, I find the index, refractive index, okay, for air and the white blood count, and then I put into the system, the software, so the software run the simulation. So look at the reference arm, okay, the sensing arm, okay, the air 1.0. So we can clearly see that the signal, the different compared to the reference arm. Okay. So this is the output result. Okay. So at the end of the output waveguide, so we can get the pattern. So we have far field pattern and near field pattern. Okay. So the second sample I use at that time is red blood count. Okay, sorry, red blood count, which is 1.40, the index, and that is the pattern. Okay, for the far field and the near field, means that after the light interfere. Okay. So discussion, okay, what I can discuss, okay. So the change of refractive index in a sample will give the different output result, and also the different value of n will give different amplitude of the output. Okay, so the amplitude also different, okay, when we use a different sample. So the conclusion, okay, so all that design, okay, I completely simulate using a firmware software, and then until I try to search, okay, the new design, but I think most designs still refer to the typical design, the Y shape and the Y splitter. So I can say that maybe my design is still new and novel because we never use any Y splitter design. And then the important thing is actually this project involved with integrated STEM education. Why? Because in order to understand, okay, the basic principle of this sensor or this device, so we need knowledge of physics, okay, the interferometer, the wave knowledge, and then to choose the right polymer, so we need knowledge of chemistry, and then the sample involved with biology. So that's the STEM, the S, the element of S, science. The technology, okay, means that we design that device using software, okay, software, and then the engineering involved when we can put that device into the whole system. Okay, so this is the engineering, and then the mathematics involved during we try to determine the optimum or the correct dimension, okay, to produce a good device. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Muhammad Muzamil Firdaus. Any question from the floor? Any question?
Okay, Assalamualaikum, Mr. Muzamil.
Waalaikumsalam. Yes, madam.
Congratulations. In your opinion, how you can contribute? I mean, your prototype and your end product. What can you how can you contribute to our community?
Okay, thank you, Madam Sylvia. Okay, at that time, when I discussed with my supervisor, at that time, we cater the dengue case because at Selangor, at that time, the dengue case is very high. But actually, that device also can use for now, the COVID-19, because I try to search, okay, so the current research, okay, they use that Mach-Zehnder interferometer to detect the DNA, okay, and then the biological specimen. But that paper 2018, so at that time they focus on bacteria, E. coli, something like that. Okay, but maybe we can use that, okay, to detect the virus because we know the COVID also have a different variant, Delta, Alpha, Beta. So maybe the Alpha, Beta, or other type of variant COVID-19 can give us a different pattern. Okay, if we get this pattern, so this is the alpha type. Is the pattern is the beta type.
Thank you for a good sharing.
Okay, welcome.
Any other question? So thank you, Mr. Muhammad Muzamil Firdaus.
Okay, welcome.
Ustaz Asal
Zaha.
System UNT.
Okay.
Okay, now let's call upon our next presenter, Mrs. Nur Azwa binti Zainuddin from SMK Complex, Mengaban Teliput, Terengganu. Please welcome.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Let me share my content first. Hi, can you see my slide?
Yes, can.
Okay. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Nur Azwa binti Zainuddin from SMK Complex Mengabang Teliput Terengganu, and my title today is Online Learning and Student Satisfaction. Okay, let us go next. Okay, because of the COVID-19 pandemic has forced educational institutions worldwide to close down. So when people are unable to leave their homes for an extended period of time, it has disrupted learning schedule. So most of educational institutions have shifted to online learning modes, which have made a significant difference in student learning. However, how prepared the teachers and students on e-learning remain unanswered. So with these requirements in mind, a study was designed with primary goal of examining the level of satisfaction and needs of school students regarding the online learning measure. So this is my conceptual framework. From demography, we go to students' gender, and then we examine the two here, that is satisfaction levels on online learning. That is the research question is, are students satisfied with the current online learning environment? And for the research objective to assess student satisfaction with the use of online learning mode. Okay, let us go to next is learning needs assessment with the research questions. Are the students' learning needs assessed prior to the concepts transaction via online learning? Research objective here is to assess students' learning needs for online learning mode. And the result is the students' satisfaction levels of online learning and learning needs assessment. Okay, we go next is the population. Okay, the population in this study is SMK Complex Menggamang Teliput students. At a more specific level, the researcher study a target population of sampling frame from the population and obtain a list of Form 4 students. From the target population, the researcher, that is me, chooses a sample. At the most specific level, the researchers select a sample from the target population, and these individuals are the people studied. They are Form 4 Al-Ala students. Why the Form 4 Al-Ala students are selected for the study? Okay, it is because they were personally present in each online learning sessions conducted by all their subject teachers using various online learning systems. So they are the best sample and respondents for the study to represent the school. Okay, as for the study, the research method is quantitative. The survey design is used in the study and use descriptive analysis, and a closed-ended questionnaire was employed. Okay, we go next. In the study, a questionnaire was used, which was distributed online via Google Form. And the questionnaire consisted of 3 parts. That is part A, part B, and part C. Okay, the first set of questions is about the sample's demographic. Okay, the second of questions is about the students' satisfaction with online learning. And the third set of questions is about the key aspects of students' learning needs assessment. Okay, we go next to the analysis and interpretation of data. The survey results are represented in the tables after they have been analyzed. The percentage of responses to each of the level is displayed in the result tables, along with the students' satisfaction levels for each question. Okay, we go to the part B, which is the item is how much are you satisfied with online learning? The part B represent the satisfaction levels of students on online learning. So again, the item is how much are you satisfied with online learning? According to the findings, 70.6% of respondents are neutral about online learning. Okay, while only 23.5 are satisfied and 5.9 are dissatisfied with the online learning. We go to the second item. How do you feel about effectiveness of online learning? So more than half of students are moderately feel that the online learning is effective. 29.4 and 5.9% represented that all students are positive about the effectiveness of online learning. Okay, how about how supportive your institute has been in providing you to the resources to learn from home? So more than half of students, that is 52.9%, believe that school is beneficial in terms of providing resources for learning at home during the COVID-19 pandemic, and the levels of all certifications are positive. Okay, the next item is how stressful is online learning for you? Okay, we can see that 47.9% students find that online learning to be very stressful, which is a significant number. And the rest is all about being slightly, very stressful, and also extremely stressful and also moderately stressful. Let us look at the next item, that is, do you enjoy learning online? Okay. The majority of students thought that if given the chance, they would like to change a few aspects of online learning. Yes. So we go to the next item is, are you satisfied with the technology and software being used for online learning? 38% of students are very much satisfied with the technology used, 36.6%, and 11.3% slightly satisfied. So we can see here that all students are satisfied with the technology used by them. Okay, for the next part, that is learning needs assessment. That is part C in this study. Okay, learning needs assessment for the first item is, do you have access to a device for learning online? So both are 70.6% said yes. Okay, that they have access to a device for online learning, demonstrating their ability. At the same time, a small number of students had access, but it did not work well. That is 29.4%. Okay, we go to the next item. What device do you use for online learning? Okay, for the desktop and tablet, they are 0. Okay, and the majority of students, 70.6%, preferred to learn online using their smartphones, and only 29.4% are using laptop. uh, 48%. So nearly equal percentages for their managing of their playtime and academic time. Okay, the next is how supportive your teachers while studying online. More than half of the students hope and believe that their teachers are extremely helpful during the online learning, and the levels of satisfaction are all positive. Okay, we go to how peaceful is your home environment while online learning. Only 41.2% of the students have peaceful home environment while online learning, and the rest more are not at all, slightly, and also very well. Okay. Next is how much important is face-to-face communication for you while online learning. 52.9% students believe that face-to-face communication is critical. And the last item for learning needs assessment is how often do you have a one-to-one interaction with teachers during online learning? Majority of the students, level are positive. So their satisfaction are positive, which they do have one-to-one interaction with teachers during online. So these are all the discussion about the satisfaction levels of student on online learning. So I have simplified. The sixth one here is neutral level of online learning, moderate level about the effectiveness of online learning, very stressful level when they are asked are they being stressed of online learning, moderate level is the school beneficial or not, so they answered with moderate level. Okay, the level that need improvement, that is improvement required, is they need if they have given the chance they would like to change a few aspects. And high level of satisfaction is when they use the technology. Okay, the next discussion is about learning needs assessment. Okay, what about device access? A large percentage, that is 76%, okay, have access to device during online learning. The device use, the majority is using smartphones. They spend 7 to 10 hours per day, okay, because they are Form 4 students. So they have spent a lot during online learning. And the schedule, during their online learning schedule nearly equal for their academic and also playtime schedule. Okay, what about teacher support? Okay, teacher support are extremely helpful during the online. Home environment are moderately satisfied. Okay, what about offline learning? They are more prefer of the offline learning. And for the schedule, yes, they are equal. Okay, let us go and look at the findings discussion. Okay, the finding shows that students have fewer opportunities to interact with teachers in one-to-one. So they believe that flexibility and convenience of time at home, lack of devices, few opportunities for interaction. Discussion is, however, in the education system where teacher training programs are practical in nature, shifting completely to online may not be possible, necessitating that the development of a hybrid mode. So the finding of this study can be used to help design the model of online learning for the. Okay, the next discussion is a student's assessment of personal needs and context, preferred teaching styles of pedagogy, assessment of prior knowledge are few of that factors that demonstrate online satisfaction level. Show that were either rarely or never assessed on their learning needs. And also the suggestions. Majority of students were moderately satisfied with the current online learning. Despite that the majority of them were comfortable. It is clear that majority of success section and critical factors for online learning success here is the learning objective, context, preferences, and teachers' knowledge. Okay, need to be personalized learning experience for students. Okay, these are the recommendations to improve students' learning experiences. Okay, before beginning online learning, assess the students' learning needs first and also the objectives. Okay, next is assess the students' prior knowledge in the class. Accumulate the students' personal learning preferences. Assess the students' personal learning preferences. Provide ample opportunity to interact with one another. Okay, summary here is difficult to make their learning experience achieve the leadership.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Shino Azwa. Any
Yes.
question from the floor?
Assalamualaikum, Cikgu.
Yes. Waalaikumsalam.
Congratulations and thank you for sharing the data. Based on the data just now, most of the students are satisfied and enjoy online learning, right?
Yep.
So, in your opinion, why they are, half of them, if I'm not mistaken, very stressed with the online learning. So, what is the factor?
Yes. Yep. Pardon? What is your question again? What is the factor that students are very stressful about online learning?
Yes. Because half of them, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
feel stressed.
Okay. Okay, first of all, they are Form 4 students. So for them, online learning is quite of very stressful. Number one, because lack of connectivity here. That is the first one why they became very stressful. Lack of connectivity. Second is lack of motivation. Yes, they have demotivated during the online learning because I have asked them, okay, which one is the best for you? And most of them already answered that yes, offline learning is more preferable, and also they are like to go face to face with teachers. They are more lively to that. So the online learning is very stressful to them, and they make no sense for them to, because they need to focus more on the exam that is approaching maybe next year. So online learning is not preferable for them. So that's the answer from me.
Thank you, Cikgu.
Thank you very much, Puan Salbia.
Any other question? So there is no question. Thank you very much to Jusno Azwa. Now let's call upon our next presenter, Mrs. Najwa binti Muhammad Sani from SMK Complex, Ngabang Telipuk, Terengganu. Please welcome.
Assalamualaikum. Hello again, Mr. Azhar. I am Nur Azwa, and I am also will representing my school. So let me share you my slide first. Okay, can you see my slide here?
Yes.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and a good day to everyone again. Okay, I am representing SMK Complex Menggabang Teliput, and also my two friends here, that is Puan Najwa and also Puan Nur Hasniza. And our study and our research topic here is challenges incorporating TikTok application as a tool of education. Okay, table of contents. Okay, we will go to the introduction of TikTok first. Second is issue highlighted. Third is latest related research. Fourth is the challenges. Fifth is the discussion, and also the last one is conclusion. Okay, what is TikTok actually? Okay, let us go and know deeper about TikTok. It was actually originally known as Douyin in Chinese, and also formerly known as musical.ly. It is launched in September 2016, introduced by Zhang Yiming from ByteDance company from China. And in 2017, the app had 100 million users and 1 million daily video views. So once it famous, it developed around the world and changed its name to TikTok. Okay, now it has 800 million users worldwide, 1.5 billion downloads over 4 years, and it is focused on Gen Z. That is 70% of them are among 16 to 24 years old. Okay, TikTok now leads to addiction. Addiction to what? Fit to our likings. It is short duration. It is a little bit competitive elements and also compact or smaller size. Okay, let us look at what about TikTok in education. The issue highlighted here is education role of social media has grown up during the COVID pandemic. So when people are unable to leave homes, okay, they need and provide the platform for people to communicate with one another. As a result, digital tools have evolved that enables teachers to continue teaching. Okay, nonetheless, there is still a gap between teachers and students in terms of assessing the digital technologies. Okay, these are the research that I gathered on TikTok application. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 scholars here research on TikTok. Okay, from 2019, 2020, and also 2021. Okay, these are the latest research on TikTok application. The first one from Zuhair, 2021. His research is about using TikTok in education, a form of micro-learning or nano-learning. So the focus is new theoretical approaches that prioritize connected learning, okay, and improving the learning outcomes. The conclusion for Zuhair research is applying the principles of instruction design and nano-learning. The use of TikTok will allow the dissemination of new knowledge and skills based on creativity and innovation. Okay, what about Katrina said? Katrina's research is about on application of TikTok in higher education. Okay, year 2021, that is to test suitability of social network, TikTok for e-learning for the students' level of motivation, creativity, and readiness. And the conclusion is the analysis is supposed to present the level of collaboration and it's still ongoing. Okay, we go to Christian Montag. The research is about the psychology of TikTok use. And the year is 2021. Certain aspect of its use result in detrimental behavioral effects. And the conclusion for the Christians is TikTok attracts very young users, being more vulnerable to detrimental aspects of social media use. Okay, we go to Paloma in 2021. The how incorporating TikTok in higher education. Okay, it explores TikTok's education impact in corporal expression course. And the conclusion is with proper planning and work, possible barriers can be overcome. Okay, we go to Swati. Swati's research is about a study to analyze the impact of TikTok app on students' academic and psychology. Year 2020, the focus is on significance of students' academic, and the conclusion is students are now very much inclined with technology. So social media give positive impacts. Okay, what about Badria for her research? Living in the moment, impacts of TikTok on influencing younger generation into microframe. Year 2019. The focus is to examine in-depth reasons behind the TikTok becoming sudden massive among teenagers. And the conclusion here is the app should follow to the part of gatekeeper and should eliminate the energy of harmful content. The last one is Jiang Xiaoyu. Research on TikTok app based on user-centric theory. Year 2019, the app has got the best out in terms of human-computer interactive. And the conclusion enhances user loyalty among the undergraduate and also postgrad students. Okay, these are the challenges in incorporating TikTok in education, mostly to my school, okay, that is consisted of 103 teachers. Okay, the first challenge is lack of awareness. Okay, lack of awareness among teachers, okay, among teachers incorporating TikTok in education. Okay, the second is bandwidth issue and connectivity, because our place is, or our area is a rural area, so it is a bit difficult for teachers with the bandwidth, and also the connectivity is not too high, or maybe it becomes weak sometimes. Okay, we go to computer literacy and digital divide. Okay, if when we talk about computer literacy, most of the teachers there, that is 103 teachers. Okay, most of them or majority of them are ages between 40 to 55. So when we tell about computer literacy, they are weak or moderate in computer literacy. Okay, let us go to communication gap. Okay, while incorporating TikTok in education, most of the teachers said that communication gap between teachers and students are weak or maybe moderate because they are not very prefer when doing the online session. Okay, the next challenge is difficulty in engaging students online. Yes, it is quite difficult for us to engage students to go online with full of participation of students because okay, most of our students are in rural area or village and some of them are in Pulau Redang. So it is difficult for us to engaging the students to do online sharp on time. Okay, let us go to the next is discovery and creativity. Okay, as a researcher, I can see that most of the teachers here are not creative enough to use the TikTok in education because it is quite unfamiliar for them and it is a new platform for them to use that. So it is a quite big challenge for them to use the TikTok. And the last one is class community. As I mentioned before, class community is about students, environment, and also disciplinary. Disciplinary. So their motivation is quite low because they are not they are not using their online platform as an education as a tool of education. They just using it for fun. So the class community is a big moderate for teacher to incorporate TikTok in education. Okay. Discussion here is, okay, this study presented the perspective of group SMK Complex Mengaban Teliput teachers regarding the use TikTok as a pedagogical tool. So it is recommended that teachers be trained on how to overcome the potential social media use barriers by several authors here. And according to Moore and Dewey, it is critical not to use social media for the sake of having fun. Rather, it because the last one is conclusion. There are plenty of possibilities to connect this interest with the school environment, introducing social and demonstrating that the educational innovation made through TikTok has brought positive educational outcomes, and TikTok offers several possibilities to create a more motivational and engaging environment students' attention. So a picture is worth 1,000 words. Thank you. That's all from me, representing my school SMK Complex Menggabang Teleport.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Nur Azwa. Any question from the floor?
Cikgu Norazawati. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Congratulations, Cikgu. Because as we know that TikTok is now very trending, right? So
Yes.
just one from me. It's good effort. And then I just want to ask how you make a balancing. I mean, how you create your content to make sure that the content is, as we know that the content is the most important, right? So how you make how you balance your content with the creativity and also in terms of fun and to make sure that the content is the most important. That's the
Okay,
point.
thank you for the question. Okay, I have used the TikTok starting last year, and I am an English teacher. So for me, the first is I need to use the Pulse book as my reference, okay, as my reference, and I compile it for the short version, and I make it a video of me myself with the changes of video with looks. So I make looks, different looks for them to get the attraction of them, and also I also included the first is the content, and the second is the task that they need to do. So in 1 minute, actually, in a 1 minute video, actually we have prepared more than 30 minutes for the video making. So it is actually an effort from teachers for students, and I have got some responses from students that they really love the TikTok video given by me, and also I have uploaded the video to my Facebook, and most of my friends teachers told that yes, the TikTok video is convenience for the students, but maybe for the lower form of students, I think so. So that's all that I can answer for now.
Okay, thank you, Cikgu. Can you share your TikTok account? Maybe we can go through with your TikTok.
Oh, my TikTok account. Actually, I just do the TikTok, and it is private. But you can go to my Facebook because I have uploaded most of my TikTok and also my teaching modes into my Facebook.
Okay, thank you, Cikgu.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Norazwa. We will take a break and the presentation will resume at 11:30. But before that, we will have a photography session. So everybody can on the camera for photography session now. Thank you. Okay.
Mohon semua on kamera ya.
Camera, please. Ada dah.
Okey,
It's on.
dalam kiraan 10 saya ambil gambar ya. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okey.
Okay. Thank you all. So see you all at 11:30. Thank you very much.
2021. I sincerely hope that all of our effort in sharing and exchanging ideas throughout this conference will create and enhance public interest as well as awareness on the importance of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics known as STEM. It is hoped that everyone enjoy this virtual conference under the new norm, and may you have a delightful and fruitful deliberation throughout the conference with us. With that note, I wish all of you happy conferencing and thank you.
Yeah, Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all. So we continue our session this morning with I would like to call upon our next presenter, Nurul Syahida binti Abu Bakar from Pusat Asasi STEM University Malaysia Terengganu. Please welcome.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, clear.
Clear? All right. Thank you for the response. Thank you to the chairperson. So I would like to share my slide. Okay, so I'm Nurul Syahida binti Abu Bakar from Pusat Asasi STEM. So my topic of research is technology usage in time of COVID-19 pandemic among university students and exploratory study. So here is my member team. So we have from ICSTEM, Nur Hidayah, and consultant biostatistics, Nadia. Right, so this is my presentation of timeline. Okay, so we start with the background. So as we know that the whole world is going through difficult time due to the presence of COVID-19 pandemic. So the pandemic has necessitated the use of online and virtual classroom in place of face-to-face ones. So the raises concerns about students' ability to adjust to this new norm of online learning, considering their diverse socio-economic backgrounds. When open distance learning was implemented unexpectedly in Malaysia, it is critical to assess students' experience in adopting technology in the new learning environment during the pandemic. Okay, so based on that, therefore, the purpose of this study is to elicit information about students' experiences with gadget, internet access, online tools, online class engagement, and online learning material during open and distant learning in times of pandemic COVID-19. So this is regarding the literature review. These are the some of the literature review that related to our study. So based on Hillman 1994, student success in ODL is dependent on their proficiency in information and ICT in their ability to find and post relevant information. So based on MUNA 0, other challenges which hinder an effective online learning from occurring include the absence training, facilities, and infrastructure, as well as students' ability to prepare and learn using learning tools. So in 2018, students who don't possess the requisite skills may inadvertently be left behind. So this is the most critical things lah. Okay, so in the 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic has caused changes in order of human life in education fields, and one of the area that has been heavily influenced in education lah is education. So based on the Ismail et al. In 2020, majority of students are unprepared for online learning because it's a prom event. So with the primary barrier being a lack of internet access, right? So in our study, in my study ni, what we do is, so this is the research flow. The first thing is sampling technique. Okay, we propose with the sampling technique. We use convenient sampling techniques, facilitate, and because of why we use sampling technique, facilitates the acquisition of raw data for further analysis, is save time and money. And then we instrument the development of, okay, this is our sample. So we take from two universities, University Malaysia Terengganu and UiTM Terengganu. From the University Malaysia Terengganu, we take the data collect the data from STEM Foundation with 144 students or participants. For the UiTM, we have 2, diploma and bachelor. So for diploma, we have 104 and bachelor, we have 87. All right. Okay. After we have done the part of sampling method, so next step, if we come up with the questionnaire, okay, self-administered questionnaire. So how we collect our data collection using Google Form, using the Google Form. So here, as you can see, this is the Google Form that we use, right? So we collect about gender, level of education, okay, a gadget that you use the most for online learning. So we have the item handphone, laptop, tablet, and others. Okay, and then we ask them, how would you describe the ease of accessibility of internet, network, and internet? It's depending on the situations, easy or hard. All right. So how would you describe the ease of using online tools? So online tools, depending on the situations, easy or hard. And then the next item that we ask in the questionnaire, how would you describe the ease of accessing online learning materials? And do you find the virtual classes engaging? Yes or no, item only. Okay, and then what education method that you prefer the most? It's either face-to-face or virtual. Right, and then which of the following materials would you mostly prefer to study for virtual classes? So we have PowerPoint, reading from the reference book, summarized handout by instructor, watching the video recorded of the lecture video from other instructor accessible on YouTube, or materials from internet. Okay, so I think they have 2 items more. So do you think virtual classes save time? This is yes or no. And then where is your location during online learning? Is it home or in your institution? Right, sorry, it's moving slowly sedikit. All right, so that's all for the questionnaire. Okay, so after we have done the questionnaire, so we collect our data using Google Form just now, so we analyze. So how do we analyze? We use a demographic and cross table. So come out to the discussion part. Okay, as the result, so the result, right, as you can see here, this is the level of the education. As just now I said that how many of the sample we have. So 87 from the degree, so 25.7%. For the diploma, we have 404, is represented 3.3, and foundation 144 for the 44%. Okay, so mostly preferred study. So what kind of material that the student prefer most is watching the video record of the lecture. So they prefer more of the video record, and then the followed by the PowerPoint slide and summarized handout by instructor. Only those yang less than 10% less than the 10% that like lecture video from other instructor accessible from YouTube, materials from internet, reading from the reference book or others. All right. So next here is the gadget, the most gadget used for the online learning. This is, of course, is based on their socio-economic lah. It's either they have money or not have money to have it. Okay, so I would say that 76 lah. Okay, if you can see the blue one is the having laptop. So meaning that overall they have 76.5% of the students having a laptop, while still have 20.4% using handphone. So if you can see, all of the category are still have small portion having handphone, and then using tablet with 3.1, and only 1%, 0.3% as overall using computer. Right. So about the virtual classes. Okay. So here, if you can see the here, most of the degree and diploma students were at home. Okay, so diploma, degree and diploma students were at home. Okay, only small percent stay in campus. Okay, while foundation students, 88.7% were in campus. Right, as we can see here, those who stay at home, so just now stay at home is degree and diploma, preferred to have a face-to-face class. Okay, to prefer to have a face-to-face class, while those who are stay in campus prefer to have virtual mode. Okay, why degree and diploma students prefer face-to-face class? Most of these degree and diploma students are second year students, and they have felt that the atmosphere of learning at the university. So therefore, they prefer to learn face-to-face rather than in a virtual classroom. It is contrast to foundation students, since they were in hybrid learning mode, where only lecture conducted online, while tutorial and lab conducted face-to-face. Since they feel both mode, they more prefer to have virtual mode. Okay, so this is the data or the outcome of the online learning. Okay, so 60.2% here, 60.2% diploma students and 76.8% of foundation students stated that virtual class was engaging. Virtual class was engaging, and 71.4% diploma student and 94.4% of students, foundation students, stated that the virtual class saved time. Okay, save time. So this is because students do not have to take much time to prepare for class and listen to video recording of the lecturer at their own pace. If they in confusions on any subject, so students can listen the video recorded or read the notes provided by the lecturer. For degree students, only half of them found virtual classes to be engaging. So for the degree, only half of them feel they're engaging. Okay, however, 53% stated that virtual classes can save time. Okay, so this is the describe of convenience of online learning. So we assume, okay, as you can see, this is the item of we asking them about the accessibility of network and internet using online tools and accessing of the materials, okay, based on the 3 level of education. So we assume this happened because students at degree and diploma are at home, where they have limited accessibility of internet, network and internet. Okay, so compared to the foundation students where they have good accessibility of internet because they were at campus. So if they have a good internet access, they will feel the online tools will be easier to use and easy to access the online learning material. Okay, if you can see the foundation level, depending on the situation, and easy is high lah. Okay, it's high for the part of easy here. Okay, compared to the degree and diploma because they are at home. So might be the internet access is limited. So based on this study, we found that the accessibility of internet and network is the life of online learning. If they have good access on it, remote learning during pandemics, COVID-19, but they continue to prefer face-to-face instruction. Because university students experience a number of obstacles during this pandemic, sorry for the typo there, including limited internet access, inconvenient study settings, difficult to find reference materials, and very limited equipment and gadgets. So that's all from my group.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Nurul Shahida binti Abu Bakar. So any question from the floor? Any question? So if there is no question, so now let call upon the next presenter, Mrs. Salbiah binti Muhammad Hashim from Unit Latihan Pusat STEM Negara Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia. Please welcome.
Okay. Can you see my slide?
No.
Okay. Okay, can you see my slide?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, everyone. My name is Salbiah Muhammad Hashim and I am a postgraduate student in National University in Malaysia. Today, I would like to share with all of you the findings of my research entitled An Integrated STEM Framework for Mathematics Instruction. Sorry, miscommunication. Okay. So my lecture today is an integrated STEM framework for mathematics instruction. Actually, it's a part of my PhD thesis. So this is the outline for today. As we know, current situation of global socio-economy landscape urge innovation and dissemination of knowledge based on mobile internet, big data, and also Internet of Things to cope with the development of Industrial Revolution 4.0. So the skill required for the workforce are also changing. The future economy is looking for the workforce who are able to adapt with complexity and diverse challenges. Real-world integrated activities are thought to help develop STEM literacy and 21st century skills. So STEM integration not only helps students learn about the existence and relevance of STEM careers, but also increases student interest in STEM careers. Inventive thinking is one of the main constructs in 21st century skill. It is a cognitive process that employs thinking in a creative and critical way during problem solving to generate innovative or specially designed solutions. So what is the issues and challenges? As we know, the quality of STEM education is vital for the future success of students. Is that sufficient acknowledgement of the potential role of mathematics in STEM learning context? Ideally, mathematics should be given more standing and be considered an enabler or imperative for the advancement or understanding of concepts in other disciplines. However, mathematics is still taught as a silo subject and not integrated with other disciplines. The M will become silent if not given significant attention when implementing integrated STEM education. Some consideration for teaching STEM integrated, which are the good lesson planning, classroom practices, and also teaching materials. But what happens now is some teaching materials are not in line with learning objective and also are not linking mathematics with other discipline and a real contact. The PISA report 2018 showed the student performance in the aspect of the mathematical thinking and also the reasoning is unsatisfactory. Only 2.4 student mastered of the process of thinking mathematically and also reasoning well. So low performance in mathematics and science will decrease in STEM enrollment as happened, as you can see, in 2012, 2017 and also 2019. So this is the finding of a need analysis. A total of 309 teachers and 1,159 students were involved in this need analysis. So both student and teacher had similar perception of topic difficulty in the SKP Mathematics Form 4. Considered probability topics the most difficult, as you can see on the screen. Why STEM integrated? STEM integration actually fosters student conceptual understanding and their understanding of application of STEM to solve complex problems. So what is a STEM integration actually? So within the literature base, the language used to describe a STEM integration differs among authors, between contexts. So the most common terms are STEM integration and integrated STEM, but other terms that are also used are integrative STEM and interdisciplinary STEM. Actually, the manner in which subjects of STEM are included or not, or how concepts from other non-STEM disciplines are added, the length of the integrated STEM learning episode, and the purpose of the learning within a STEM integration setting all make a difference in how STEM integration is defined and used. One of the characteristics of the STEM integration that STEM integration should be centered on a real world problem or context. So based on the literature review, the STEM disciplines themselves are also connected by big ideas, common skills and practices, and also structured for supporting integration. And the last one is the degree on how many disciplines should be integrated. That is a sum of the characteristic by STEM integration. So what is a real world problem actually? As we can see on the screen, integrated STEM activities should be realistic or focus on a real world problem. So real world problem in the classroom should be authentic. Parallel problem addressed by scientists, engineers, or applied mathematicians in the real world. And also explicitly connected to the community of the student. So this is a real world problem. So this one, the degree of the integration. Many define STEM integration as integrating any two of disciplines. Although science, technology, engineering, and mathematics share many connections that support their integration, they are varied and diverse fields that each play a role in how they are integrated in classroom. The ways in which they can each be used in play an important role in the conceptual framework of STEM integration. So this is a problem solving. As we know that problem solving involving a structured problem are typically situated in an emergent from a specific context. The solutions are not predictable or convergent, and everyday practice more interesting and meaningful to learners. Here is some characteristic of problem-based learning. As we know, students who engage in PBL direct their own learning and then immediately apply that learning, giving them an experience and context to remember alongside the knowledge itself. PBL not only helps students gain a long-term understanding, it helps students learn how to use their learning and how to apply particular knowledge and skills in new settings. So this is inventive thinking, one of the variables. What is inventive thinking? Inventive thinking is one of the main constructs in 21st century skill. It is a cognitive process that employs thinking in a creative and critical way during problem solving to generate innovative or specially designed solution. This one is by Engosh 2003. So the inventive thinking comprises 6 sub-constructs, which are flexibility, self-regulation, curiosity, creativity, risk-taking, and also higher order thinking. And this is one of the important things that I want to highlight for today, the engineering design process. What is the engineering design process actually? So it's a series of steps engineers solution to problem, solving real world problem. When students involved in EDP, they will be independent, more reflective reflective thinkers, and also they learn to integrate multiple ideas together to solve the problem. There are 5 processes for EDP. The first one is ask, where the student need to identify the need and constraint. The second one is imagine, they have to develop the possible solution. The next one is plan, where they have to select a promising solution. And the fourth one is create, they have to build a prototype. And the last one is improve, they have to redesign as needed. So that is an engineering design process. So we're looking at the learning theory, involve the constructivist theory, where focuses on the role of student as a knowledge builders learning, and the problem solving are the result of the exploration of new knowledge learning, including Piaget, Vygotsky, and also Brunner. So this is my conceptual framework study, including problem solving using engineering design process, EDP. So what we can see, collaboration between students with teachers and OPS provides scaffolding to students in the zone of flexible development to help them construct knowledge. Collaboration between activities in PBL and EDP will promote students self-directed learning. So the student take ownership of the learning. PBL is not only help students learn how to use their knowledge, but also how to apply particular knowledge and skill in the new settings. So this is the common instructional design organized by AD is using for development of statement module. So this is the process. The first one, analyze, design, develop, implement, and evaluate. This one is This one is the implementation of statement module. There is the process, the EDP process will in the phase elaborate, where the students are engaged of the topic, explore the topic through hands-on, minds-on activities and experiment. For your information, they also included 5E instructional model, and then the EDP part is in the elaborate phase. So this one is the process, the implementation of statement module. The example given is about infection disease. So there's a 5-step here. The first one is step where the student think about the problems given, and also in part of imaging, they have to do a simple or a background research to brainstorm and explore possible solution, and then later then they have to plan. That means they have to choose a promising solution, draw a diagram. So here they will involve in mathematical modeling. So then they have to create, and the last one, improve. Almost always the model is not circular and does not indicate a particular starting point. So why the EDP is very important? This is actually one of habit of minds engineering, and to expose to our students how engineering, how scientists or how mathematicians working. So this is the conclusion for today. Through real world integrated activities, we can develop STEM literacy and also 21st century skills, among which are listed characteristics such as inventive thinking, creativity, curiosity, collaboration, also critical thinking. And also STEM integration fosters student conceptual understanding and the understanding of application of STEM to solve complex problem. So I think that's all from me. As we can see, mathematics is the sign which draw necessary conclusion. So any question from the floor?
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Salbia. So any question from the floor?
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Puan Salbia.
Ya. Puan Najiha.
Okay.
Dr. Najiha, sorry, Dr. Najiha.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
It's okay. It's
On
okay.
the screen.
I just okay. Okay. Thank- okay. Uh, First, congratulations. Okay, I just want to first, regarding the module as I you have created or built up STEM IT, isn't it? Your module.
Doctor, I cannot hear you because I think maybe your line is not. Hello. Sorry. Pardon. Can you repeat your question?
Okay. You can hear or not?
Okay. I can hear you.
Okay. Regarding to the module, your
Okay.
module
Yes,
STEM
my module.
IT. What is the content of the STEM IT?
Oh, about my module, the STEM content. What I stress here is how I integrate the EDP, engineering design process, in my module. So in terms of that, I'm not doing in terms of technology, but the engineering part.
Engineering
Do you understand?
part.
Do you get it or not? No.
Is it a module that one for the teachers or to
Student.
implement?
The topic
Oh,
chosen
okay.
is probability. So then
Only probability.
yes, probability.
Why probability?
Why probability? Okay, according or based on the finding need analysis, most of the teacher and student both choose the probability as a difficult topics. So this is a little bit challenging for me actually. But I try my best, and as we know yesterday, as what Professor Mohan mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, that he mentioned about the how we can integrate the probability in the real context, in a real problem, as a problem STEM that we can relate to, like ecology, or as what I mentioned just now. I give the example in this is about COVID-19, which I give the example, the very simple example where I can start the concept of the probability. How the flu, if I'm not mistaken, how the flu or the cold and how it spread through a small apartment building related to the topic of the probability. So that one is starter. So later, I get the point also from Professor Mohan, where we can relate also the aspect of the community or the issue of the community, our community.
Okay. And then I understand that your research using problem-based learning, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
For problem-based learning is actually the real problem. So
Yes.
if you mention that you have get the story from the flu COVID-19, that one is a problem-based learning. It's based on the true scenario.
Yeah.
Okay. Proceed.
Thank you, Dr.
All the
Najah.
best.
Yeah, maybe if you have any idea, we can, we can communicate each other after this.
Okay, insyaAllah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Najah.
Okay, thank you very much to Mrs. Albia. So next, let's call upon our next presenter, Mr. Muhammad Ramzan bin Muhammad Yusuf from College Matrikulasi Kejuruteraan Kedah. Please welcome.
Okey, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Saya Muhammad Nur Ramzan. Dengar Tuan Nazar?
Dengar.
Okay, terima kasih Tuan. Okey, terima kasih pengurusi majlis. Saya Muhammad Nur Ramzan bin Yusof daripada Kolej Matrikulasi Kejuruteraan Kedah, Pendang, Kedah. Jadi yang ini saya nak membentangkan topik saya yang bertajuk faktor kemudahan dan kesediaan pelajar Kolej Matrikulasi Kejuruteraan Kedah mengikuti pembelajaran dalam talian di kalangan talian. Okey. Research ini saya buat bersama dengan pengarah Kolej Matrikulasi Kejuruteraan Kedah, Tuan Amran bin Mat Said. Jadi kandungan yang ada dalam saya punya pembentaran adalah pengenalan, literatur, metodologi, dapatan, kesimpulan dan cadangan. Jadi ini education is not a learning of fact but the training of mind to think. Okay, jadi dalam situasi pandemik seluruh dunia ini, kebanyakan IPT menggunakan pembelajaran dan pengajaran dalam talian sepenuhnya. Jadi kajian ini bertujuan untuk meninjau kesediaan pelajar mengikuti pembelajaran dalam talian di Kolej Matrikulasi Kejuruteraan Kedah. Jadi di Kolej Matrikulasi Kejuruteraan Kedah ni sem lepas diorang pelajar datang ke kolej, tapi kami sebagai pensyarah buat juga pembelajaran dalam talian hybrid, untuk praktikal saja kami buat bersemuka, yang lain-lain ni kami buat pembelajaran dalam talian. Jadi mereka ni duduk di kolej. Okey. Jadi isu-isu berkenaan dengan pembelajaran dalam talian ni adalah kemudahan komputer, sikap pelajar, gaya pembelajaran pelajar, sokongan rakan sebaya dan guru, tidak ada akses komputer di rumah, kekurangan peluang untuk berinteraksi dengan ahli kumpulan, kekurangan maklum balas, peningkatan beban kerja, peluang tidak mencukupi, kurang tumpuan dan ketidakupayaan untuk mengatakan pandangan secara bebas. Jadi reka bentuk kajian adalah berbentuk kajian kuantitatif. Saya mengambil sampel 230 orang daripada 320 orang pelajar Kolej Matrikulasi Kejuruteraan Kedah ambilan 2020 dan 2021. Instrumen ni saya edarkan melalui soal sidik, melalui pautan Microsoft Form. Analisis saya gunakan nilai peratusan dan nilai min. Jadi dapatan adalah seperti berikut. Kesediaan memperuntukkan 8 hingga 10 jam seminggu untuk pembelajaran dalam talian sederhana. Komunikasi secara maya berbanding dengan komunikasi bertulis rendah. Keupayaan akses internet dengan mudah diperlukan untuk pengajian saya sederhana. Kesediaan berkomunikasi secara elektronik dengan rakan sekelas dan pengajar secara aktif sederhana. Pembelajaran dalam sama kualiti dengan pembelajaran bilik darjah rendah. Data belakang dan pengalaman dalam pembelajaran online beri faedah kepada pengajian saya sederhana. Saya boleh mengarahkan diri sendiri semasa pembelajaran dalam talian sederhana. Mudah untuk menetapkan masa pembacaan dan membuat kerja berkait dengan pengajian dalam talian sederhana. Berupaya urus secara berkesan, mudah menyiapkan tugasan dalam masa ditetapkan guna pembelajaran dalam talian sederhana. Keseluruhannya sederhana. Jadi dapatan daripada kajian ini mendapati bahawa kesediaan pelajar Kolej Matrikulasi Kejuruteraan Kedah mengikuti pembelajaran dalam talian adalah pada tahap yang sederhana. Jadi item nombor 2 adalah yang terendah, di mana pelajar Kolej Matrikulasi Kejuruteraan Kedah lebih selesa berkomunikasi secara luar talian. Ini disokong dengan Omnita 2019 dan COM 2020 mendapati kurang kemahiran menggunakan alat digital menyebabkan tahap keaktifan pelajar mengambil bahagian dalam pembelajaran interaktif masih rendah. Item nombor 3 ada min yang tinggi, iaitu pelajar KMKK dapat mengakses internet dengan mudah seperti yang diperlukan untuk pengajian mereka. Walaupun lokasi KMKK terletak di kawasan luar bandar, pelajar dapat mengakses internet dengan baik kerana pihak pengurusan KMKK berusaha agar capaian internet optimum. COM membuat kajian terhadap pelajar UiTM mendapati 20% pelajar menghadapi masalah sambungan internet. Amir menekankan kesukaran pelajar mengakses internet menyebabkan pelajaran dalam talian sukar dilakukan. Jadi cadangan dia adalah kita mengatur program yang sesuai untuk meningkatkan lagi kesediaan pelajar mengikuti pengajian dalam talian dari masa ke semasa. BM-KPM, Bahagian Matrikulasi Kementerian Pelajaran Malaysia, untuk menaik taraf kemudahan alatan pembelajaran digital dan yang paling penting adalah akses internet di Kolej Matrikulasi di Malaysia. Terima kasih. Ada soalan?
Terima kasih Mr. Muhammad Nur Azam. Any question? Ada soalan? Ada soalan? No question. Again, thank you very much to Mr. Muhammad Nur Azam.
Oh, sama-sama.
So next, like call on our next presenter, Dr. Nur Hakimah binti Abdul Rahman from Pusat Asasi STEM Malaysia, Universiti Malaysia Terengganu. Please welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, our chairperson, Mr. Azhar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning to all the presenters, to all the attendees, and everyone. I am Dr. Nur Hakimah Abdul Rahman from STEM Foundation Center, UMT. And today I would like to present of my study entitled Teaching and Learning of STEM Courses in COVID-19 Pandemic, Students' Point of View. Okay. As we already know, the COVID-19 pandemic has started attacking worldwide beginning March 2020. So as a result, the education field was also affected. Primary and secondary school and also the education institutions such as IPTA and IPTS are closed. So at UMT STEM Foundation UMT, the recruitment of new students usually takes place in June for every year. So in 2020, the new student registration process also be carried out by fully online. So in fact, they also not allowed to attend to the campus. The result, the teaching and learning process is carried out by online. So in this study, my focus on group 1 student, which is they are my student actually, with the total number of students is 75 students. So starting with semester 1 until semester 3, teaching and learning process session for students are totally by online. Okay, and then in August 2020, all students were allowed to attend to the campus UMT in accordance with all the SOP that have been issued. So however, the learning process is still carried out by online. For tutorial classes, it is allowed to be running physically according to all SOP, considering the number of students for tutorial class is smaller, which is around 30 to 35 students for tutorial class. Okay, on behalf of students, they still don't have any experience, especially regarding to online learning. Considering that in 2019, okay, they already finished the school session physically. So online learning actually look like a little challenging lah. Okay, a little challenging for student and also for lecturer. So if we look at the conventional method, okay, basically when involving mathematics subject, lecturer or teachers more comfortable to use the whiteboard, use the marker to show, okay, to show the calculation for any question of mathematics. Okay, but now everything should be shown in the screen of laptop, PC, smartphone or tab. Alright, so there are a few objectives for this study. Okay, the first one is to measure students' interest in online teaching. Okay, the second one is to compare students' performance from semester to semester. And the last one is to determine the efficiency of online teaching and learning. Alright, so this is the some photos, okay, to show that how the online lectures is running. And also, how an assessment for this example is our test 1 for student in semester 1. Okay, so we can see here that student can be anywhere. So they can add hostel, they can add lecture room, or elsewhere as they are monitored by lecturers. They are monitored by lecturers in Google Meet. Okay. So in order to obtain the findings for this study, a questionnaire was conducted. As a result, it shows that most of the students agree with the online teaching and learning process. Okay, in fact, most of the students choose mathematics as the most suitable course to be carried out by online, and biology is the most unsuitable or ineffective to be carried out by online mode. So we can see here the efficiency, the chart for the efficiency of online learning based on courses. We can see that for mathematics, 40.98% student say that it is very efficient to be carried out by online. Okay, and this is the efficiency of mathematics courses in online mode. So we can see 52.46, maybe not a big difference, but it can that is still that still can see that most of the student agree to carry out the learning process by online. All right. Considering the teaching is carried out by online, so some practice are done to ensure that no student drop from any lesson. So what we have practiced is the first one is by consultation time. So in the consultation time, lecturer provided outside of the lecture and tutorial time to consult any student, maybe to answer the tutorial question, maybe to answer any question or any exercise from the student. And then for any assessment, each time assessment mark is obtained, student who get low score will be grouped in another small group, meaning that we give more attention to them. So they are also required to answer at least one question every day and submit to the lecturer. And then beside of that, we also pick a few students in class for any task, meaning that we can know that the readiness of student in lecture class. All right. Okay, so this is the students' performance in semester 1, meaning that the marks for totally final exam for the course mathematics 1 in semester 1. So we can see here that for grade A, only 36.07% student got grade A. And then for semester 2, okay, for semester 2, we have 67.21% student who got grade A. So meaning that there are a few increasing percentage from semester 1 to semester 2. And then at semester 3, in semester 3, there are 85%. 85% student with grade A. Okay, so as a conclusion, online teaching and learning is the best method in pandemic COVID-19. It is a new norm in education field. So maybe different approaches or practice in order to attract students with the online teaching and learning should be done from time to time. So I think that's all from me. Thank you. Any question from the floor?
Any question? Thank you very much, Dr. Hakimah. So any question from the floor?
Assalamualaikum, Doctor.
Waalaikumsalam.
As you mentioned just now, online learning during pandemic COVID is very common issue nowadays, right? So,
Yep.
What is the implication? I mean, inside of not in terms of content or exam or subject matter, but the implication of social or maybe something that we don't know. If you can share, thank you.
All right. Okay. So, Mrs. Salvia, actually, this study, I running this study. The first one is to know, because I am a new lecturer. Okay, I am a new lecturer. So in the same time, I want to know how my practices is suitable or not suitable to student. So that's why I'm trying to proceed this study so that I can know from maybe this is the first year, okay, student first year that I teach. So for this year, 2021, we now already 6 weeks. Okay, now we in week 6 for new student, cohort 4. So I can see the difference. Okay, the difference between student cohort 3 and student cohort 4, because student cohort 3 they are finished attend to the school in 2019, but for student cohort 4 they are totally online PDPR on 2020. So I want to measure the effectiveness online learning actually.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Any other question? So if there is no question, thank you very much, Dr. Hakimah, for your presentation. So next, let's call our final presenter for this morning, Dr. Najihah binti Mustafa from Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Perak. Please welcome.
Okay, I would like to present first my PowerPoint. Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you to chairperson. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good afternoon to all of you. I am Najihah binti Mustafa from Sektor Pembelajaran Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Perak. Would like to share regarding to my research. It is about achievement of mathematics and interest towards science, technology, engineering and mathematics STEM of primary school students. Okay, Malcolm X mentioned that education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Okay, what it doesn't mean? A 21st century education is one that responds to the economical, technological, and societal shifts that are happening at ever increased pace. It is an education that sets children up to succeed in a world where more than half of the jobs they'll have over their careers don't even exist yet. Education 4.0 is a desired approach to learning that aligns itself with the emerging fourth industrial revolution. This industrial revolution, focuses on smart technology, artificial intelligence, and robotics, all which now impact our everyday lives. For universities to continue to produce successful graduates, they must prepare their students for a world where physical systems are prevalent across all industries. This means teaching students about this technology as a part of a curriculum, changing the approach to learning together and utilizing this technology to better improve experience. The fourth industrial revolution for IR is expected to change how we live, how we work, and how to communicate. And it is also likely to change the things we value and the way we value them in the future. Presently, because business models and employment trends. According to the World Economic Forum, an estimated 65% of jobs estimated 65 of kids enrolling in primary education today will end up working in jobs that haven't been created yet. Automation and artificial intelligence are change agents in 4IR that will make certain groups of employees redundant. replacing them with new workers with the needed skills or with machines that do the job cheaper. Gone the days where students go to college or university to study for a degree that will set them up for a job for life. In the Economic Forum for a report, the future for jobs. Here are the 10 skills you will need for the fourth industrial revolution. First, complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, people management, coordinating with others, emotional intelligence, judgment and decision making. This is an important. And service orientation, negotiation, and cognitive flexibility. And how we can prepare our students to the future job that I have mentioned above, and what type of education we have to provide. Okay. The 21st century requires an efficient human resources in STEM. Therefore, the government needs to integrate the four disciplines of knowledge, especially by emphasizing the aspect of education to ensure that this situation can be realized. The Ministry of Education is confident that the STEM education approach able to enhance the thinking skill, especially critical thinking skills among students to produce students that are capable of being good problem-solving thinkers and even increase the marketability of Malaysian student skill in STEM. Okay, why STEM? STEM learning involves students in hands-on and minds-on activity based on the study of Kennedy and Odell and Kelly and Close. High quality STEM learning should have the elements of at least integrating technology and engineering into the science and mathematics curriculum, encouraging scientific investigation and engineering design, including the systematic teaching of mathematics and science. A collaborative approach means that the students and teacher are connecting with each other in the STEM field through formally and provide views of a global nature in various perspectives. It is also incorporate strategies such as problem-based learning, Puan Sabiah just mentioned, or projects by providing formal or informal learning experience. And lastly, incorporate appropriate technologies to enhance learning. Then STEM itself also have been mentioned in Malaysia Education Blueprint 2013 until 2025. In wave 2 is about building on the foundations and what does it mean and what is related with the STEM. In wave 2, the ministry upgrade existing science equipment and facilities in schools to ensure that they are optimal for the effective teaching and learning of STEM. The ministry also upgrade existing science rooms in primary schools by the end of wave 2. The ministry extends its STEM awareness programs to primary school students and their parents. The ministry adopt an informal approach to strengthen interest in STEM education and careers. By what? By organizing mobile science fairs and centralized science camps. These avenues will provide hands-on learning activities for students and parents to understand the benefits of STEM education and to discover that learning science and mathematics can be fun. The important is relevant and enriching. The ministry also encouraged teachers and students to take greater advantage of informal learning centers such as formal Petroscience and the National Science Center. We realize that various actions and solutions that our Ministry of Education have taken. However, the enrollment of the students who further their studies in STEM education will decline year by year from year 2018 until 2020. I give you some scenarios or hypotheses. First, is it related with teaching and learning of mathematics in the classroom give an impact to the interest of the students in STEM? Second, is it related to the achievement of mathematics give a significant relationship with the interest in STEM? Third, is it the career or support from the parents give an impact to the interest of a student towards STEM? why I'm concerned about mathematics. This is because the data in final exam that shows achievement of mathematics is lower compared to the achievement of science subject in Perak for primary school. That's why we did the study to identify the relationship between achievement of mathematics with interest of STEM among primary school students. How we did it? Okay, the questionnaire was distributed to students of Sekolah Kebangsaan, Sekolah Jenis Kebangsaan Tamil, Sekolah Jenis Kebangsaan Cina and Sekolah Murid Orang Asli, consisting of Year 4, Year 5 and Year 6 students in the state of Perak through Google Form. We got feedback from 5,457 students of primary schools. The questionnaire has been used for the implementation of the study is the STEM Semantic Survey questionnaire from Krizet and Christensen, 1998. However, it has been modified according to the level of suitability of primary school students in Malaysia. In addition, to test the level of reliability, a pilot study on the questionnaire instrument was conducted on 130 primary school students of Year 4, Year 5 and Year 6 in Laruk Matang Selama districts. The data were analysed using statistical package for the social science SPSS version 21 and the data were analysed using correlations to determine the relationship between mathematics achievement with interest among primary school students. The result shows that most primary school students in Perak have a moderate achievement. It is 61.3% for the subject of mathematics. Secondly, correlation tests show that mathematics achievement have a significant relationship with STEM interest. The R equal to 0.225 and the P values is less than 0.01. What it doesn't mean? The positive relationship indicates that students who have high achievement in mathematics have a high interest in STEM. For the students with moderate achievement in mathematics, having an interest in STEM is moderate, while students with low achievement in mathematics have an interest in STEM is also low. As a result, this analysis, there is a relationship between mathematics achievement affects the interest in STEMs among primary school students in Perak. It is also supported by Aleverif and Jaafar mentioned that the high level of mathematics mastery makes the involvement of students in STEM fields so encouraging. Other studies show that students with high self-efficacy and knowledge of STEM careers will choose STEM careers. Okay, and what is determined by self-efficacy? Self-efficacy is refers to the belief that a person have their own ability to successfully perform certain behaviors based on their perceptions of their abilities and likelihood of success in those activities. Although the level of student motivation may increase, it is not a guarantee that the level of student performance will increase. This means that for students, there are other factors that need to be considered in order to increase their mathematical potential. For example, students' motivation may increase after attending courses, such as motivational courses. However, if the basics or concepts of mathematics are not mastered well, students' level of mathematical achievement to increase is difficult. And in contrast to the findings of other researchers who mentioned that despite being good at mathematics achievement, students are still not inclined towards STEM careers. This is because the subject of mathematics is not practically linked in everyday life. Thus, the teaching and learning of mathematics should emphasize the integration of technology in research and inquiry activities of students related to the science and technology. as well as increased awareness of STEM careers among students. Nevertheless, the extent to which the truth of this statement can be proved in mathematics class should be investigated. In conclusion, in order to cultivate students to cultivate students' interest in STEM, teachers need to play a role during the teaching and learning process. In addition, parents also play an important role in encouraging and nurturing students' motivation towards taking STEM courses for the benefit of the STEM field to the country. Students also need to have a competitive attitude and always be motivated to face more challenging situations in the future. Therefore, it is recommended that more STEM-related programs in collaboration with non-governmental parties be held in schools, especially in rural areas, so that rural students also get exposure to STEM. Nevertheless, it is undeniable that in general, the level of motivation plays an important role in influencing the level of academic achievement of students, especially involving complex subjects such as mathematics. In addition, STEM culture in schools also needs to be intensified through problem-based learning at the primary school level. Teaching for the subject of mathematics also need to be implemented in a hands-on and minds-on that are in line and meet the characteristics of STEM learning so that students can relate the concept of mathematics with daily life. In turn, students are also able to prepare themselves towards STEM development and careers. From this study, we recommended to implement hands-on mathematics and project-based learning. Now we are implementing both programs. For hands-on mathematics program, we are in the final stage for Year 4 students and Form 2 students. For project-based learning, we have been implemented same with hands-on program. We are in the final stage. Okay, last but not least, it is important we approach STEM not just a subject, however, as a mindset. Okay, any question? And thank you so much. I would like to thank to Puan Hajar Rahimah binti Muhammad, Timbalan Pengarah Pendidikan, Sektor Pembelajaran Jabatan Pendidikan Perak, give me an opportunity and encourage me to implement this study. Encik Anas bin Muhammad Sofian, my Ketua Penolong Pengarah Kanan, Bidang Matematik and Sains, and Encik Ahmad Izzaudin bin Hussein, my Ketua Penolong Pengarah and also as a mentor, my teammates, my friends, and Nadira binti Ismail, who are together give ideas and support for this study. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Najiha binti Mustafa. Any question from the floor?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Doktor.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
First of all, congratulations. It's a good effort as a stakeholder in a Perak, especially. Based on your finding just now, high achievement in mathematics, then high achievement or high interest. High interest in STEM, right? So as officer in a JPN or JPN, do you have what's your effort to increase, especially on interest, student interest, especially in primary school? I mean, how to encourage the teachers and also the student, especially in a primary school. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Puan Sabiah.
Ya, saya.
Okay, Puan Sabiah. Okay, very good questions. After we got the result from the questionnaire, what we did is we plan hands-on mathematics for year 4 and for the Form 2 students. And now we are what we call in the final stage. I mean, before this, we did the ujian, uh, pra, 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 ujian test. Okay, sorry, pre-test, pre-test. And then within the program, we also get the reflection from the teacher and also the students. Then what we got from the teacher needs more what we call the activity, the example of activity for the other topics. We just did for the 4 topics only, and that one is the what we call kajian rintis first. And then on the September final, end of this September, we will do the post test, and then we will analyze that whether there is increase or not, and then we got the data in the qualitative result also, qualitative data from the reflection of the teachers. Is it okay? If we have to proceed, or we have to what we call give the modification for the activities. And then other than that, we also emphasize in project-based learning in the state level. What we did is PBL in STEM, that subject mathematics, science, and cooperated with the RBT and other. And we are having the colloquium for the problem-based learning, and the teacher will presented what they have got from the implementation of the project-based learning. That's all in state level what we have did. Okay, Puan Sabia.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you, Dr. Najiha. Any other question? So before we end our program this afternoon, we will have a second photography session. Yeah. So all the participants, please on the camera for the photography session. Please on camera.
Okey, dalam kiraan 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you all for the enlightening and informative presentation. Hopefully all the sharing done today will be useful in your teachings later. I believe many good experiences have been shared and good lesson learned. With that note, again, I thank you all. Please join this closing ceremony later, as we will also announce the best presenter. Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum. Salam sejahtera.
Waalaikumsalam.